Hello and welcome back, everyone. A very happy Independence Day to you all. This is Dilgil Chess, and today we are going to be watching the Esports World Cup, in which Magnus Carlsen will be taking on Denis Lajovic, and we will try to play some rich games as well. So finger crossed. Let's see. Yeah, in Hikaru versus Aledeja matchup, Hikaru came on top by 3-1, and actually I was a little bit busy, so I missed those matches. But it was quite interesting. Yeah, yeah. Yeah, not. Hello, welcome to the stream. Hello, Santa. Good evening. Hello, Sam. Good evening, man. Hello, Sweta. Hello, Easy Design. Hello, everybody. Okay, before starting anything, let me just fix one thing. You need to do this. Just give me a moment. Oh, well, let's leave that for the moment. I will try to fix that. Something else. Fine. Webcam should be good. If anything is wrong, you guys can tell me in the comment section. Okay, you watching Magnus? Yes, of course, of course. Of course, I will be watching Magnus versus Denis Lazarevic matchup. Okay. Elking, hello, bro. Good evening. Welcome to the stream. And let's go. Let's start a game. I think there is some time left before the game between Magnus versus Denis. If I want to see the matchup, I don't think game will be starting soon. It will take some time. I think we should try to watch out for the YouTube for this. Hello, Alking. Yes, bro. Welcome back to the stream, and very happy Independence Day to everyone else. Very happy Independence Day. Let's see what they are talking about.
Stop. Before you buy this,
Enjoy a cup of
this
tea.
exact product could be cheaper on another store. And unless you compare prices, you'd never know.
Title Tuesday as a young player, I will say that there were a few top players who maybe thought that there was some cheating going on, and we said no. He's very clean. In fact, he's very
Okay,
talented.
there is 10 minutes
To
left
know his
between
name and
Magnus
here he
versus
is
Elitija
playing in the
matchup.
finals against Magnus
So
Carlsen.
we do have some time to have
you
some
know
match.
Magnus, you know Hikaru. A lot of people are asking.
We do have some time. So I'm going to be playing 5+0 game. I'm so sorry, no games against the viewers today. I will be playing against the viewers tomorrow probably. Will Dennis take to set 3? Let's see. Let's see. It is going to be fun. Finger crossed. I'm going to rooting for the Dennis. So let's see. Let's see what happens. And before that, let's start some games and try to win these. Okay. They'll kill us with the black pieces. Let's start with the C6. Did you party today, Vashidil? Yes, bro. I do enjoy with my colleagues at my workplace. Let's bring this knight out. We can play knight g to f6, but not after queen e2. Okay, I want to play e6 here, just trying to disarm this bishop. Everybody is rooting for Dennis ATP. Yeah, because there is a tendency that you are going to support the one who is like who is like weaker side. Okay, he's going for the alien gambit. Let's invite this one. Oh, he takes on e6. It was out of my mind. I have never faced this one. I do have this check, but that is no, no, that's not a check. I have never seen this one probably. What about Queen E7 and then Knight to C5? Oh, I can't take right because he will pin this. Well, no, that means I'm in problem, right? Because how I'm going to bring these pieces out and castle to the safety? Wow. He's gonna outplay us, I guess. He is going to outplay us. Oh, I'm dead. How to parry this? I can castle this side. Is there anything else? Let's go for this. It is still fine. It is still fine. Now there is no check. Move your knight. There is no queen g4. But I'm not putting pressure over here. That is the probably this that walks into this. Let's go here, trying to attack the knight this way. Now you have to move the knight. Okay, let's take this. Now we might survive because my king looks safe and we are up a piece and oh no, we are not. Oh, we are up a piece. I'm sorry, we are up a piece. I need to like trade off all the pieces as soon as possible. Alien 2.0, yeah. Support the underdog. Yeah, that's right. Everybody has the tendency of that thing. Contest the e5. He's going to double up. We are gonna take this. We're gonna capture with the pawn. No. Let's spin that. Queen b3. Okay, goes there. That looks interesting. Forcing another piece off the board. You can't move the bishop because you will lose the rook. And then a6, king a7. I might be fine. What is this one? I can simply take this pawn. Because my queen is defending the knight, there is no need to hurry to capture the bishop. Bishop still can't move as you will lose the queen this time. It looks winning now. Let's go for this. Can I go here? Of course I can. There is no check. I can go here. And rook is gone. Resignation may be coming. Okay, we are going to take this. And then we are going to make a look for the king first of all. Yeah. We do have 2 minutes, so it's nothing to worry about. It's nothing to worry about. But still, anything can happen. I do have the quality of messing with the winning games. Let's go this way. Unpins the knight. Knight f5 is coming probably. I do have this check and then this. Yeah, let's go for this one. Or maybe this is better, but I think this is even better. Keeping an eye on that one as well. There's this check. Let's unpin the knight again. Now my idea is to play knight to g5. I need to attack on that square f3 or h3. That is this check, but king a7 and I might be fine. Okay, he's still not resigning because at this level, people do really consider that they can manage these things. I can just grab that. No, queen is still defending. But let's go for knight to g5. Knight f3 check will be very important because we can force king on the light square. Hello, bro. Happy Independence Day. Yes, bro. Prajakta. Welcome back to the stream and a very happy Independence Day to everyone. Okay, he's asking us to play this check. And do we have this check? Let's try to play this move. And now this. Let's go here. There is one empty check. King a7 and I'm fine. King a7, I'm fine. There is nothing else. You wanna take that? No? Then I'm going to push this g4. Okay, thanks. Let's go for this again. He might try to control of that square. But then I got this very important check at the end. Okay, he goes there himself. Knight h4, paving the way for queen g2. There is no check as well, so we are fine here. I'm not going to allow perpetual in this game. Bro, can we next will play? What can we next will play? Check. Oh no. Why did I go for this line? Now knight is undefended. Fuck man. Check takes. Oh, but that will be mate. Yeah, if he takes king, queen h2 will be checked. Let's GG. Nice. Nice. And yeah, if you enjoy this game, do hit that like button, guys. I was about to lose this one. It was very scary. Another kind of alien gambit, man. I have never seen a sack on e6 square in the alien gambit. I have seen the sacrifices on f7, but I have seen knight e6 move without this capture. He goes for this variation, and it is fine. It is winning for black. Yeah, I played correctly. If you want to watch out for the game accuracy, let's see. But if you once, yeah, that's GG Santa. David, can we play? I'm next. David, I'm so sorry, I'm not playing my viewers right now. And of course, we are going to be watching the game between Magnus and Dennis at EWC. Can you take a look at Queen takes e6 instead of Bishop takes f6? Let me see that. Okay, everything looks great here. That's a blunder. We recaptured, winning captures. Queen e7 is not a good move. And immediately it is just equal because he castles. Queen e2 is a wrong move. And maybe knight b6 was better. Just to attack that bishop and offer a bishop trade. Knight f6. Now he blunders back. He castles. We trade here. Queen c2, knight g4. Instead of knight g4, queen takes d4 is one of the beautiful moves. The idea is if he takes, white can get back rank checkmate as his back rank is weak. Beautiful. I don't have a FIDE rating yet. Knight d6, knight g4. We takes the pawn, and now it is completely winning. Just a matter of time. We trade the rook. We make a look for the king. Yeah, he throws his hand here and there somehow, but it was not enough. Now it is mate in two, and I missed that. I thought that he can capture the knight, but initially I missed the idea after he takes. Queen h2 is going to be checkmate as these squares are controlled. But then I think that okay, it is going to be checkmate if he takes. So he is not going to capture this. He has to play king f4 if he wants to get out of the checkmate. And but again, I can just follow up his king, and that will be over. He decided to fix the knight and get checkmated in one move, and that's the game. I hope you do enjoy this one. If you are enjoying the game, please do consider hitting that like button. Make it to the 15 likes. How to transform position? You just need to like you don't need to get into the checkmating mode. Once you get ahead in material, try to look for the better move, which just improves your position. Right? Don't try to get fixated to checkmate. And if you try to find the checkmate in a couple of moves when you get ahead in material, you might lose some tempi and then you might find yourself in trouble. So that's the thing which you can follow. What do you think will your FIDE rating be if you play a tournament? What do you think will your FIDE rating? If I play a FIDE rating tournament, it would be around 18 to 1900 because it is my blitz rating, and in the rapid I'm almost like to 20 to 50. And there are like rating difference. If you talk about rating difference, it will be about 300 on chess.com rating and on FIDE rating, not more than that. And in some cases, I have seen players who has like 2000 of rapid rating and still have 1800 FIDE rating in some cases. Okay, let's go back to the Excel now. Does Blitz improve red chess? Yeah, of course, but not too much. If you want to improve red chess, you have to go for the rapid one. Oh, I'm sorry, I wanted to say 1850. Okay, it's fine, not a big deal. Okay, there are still some time left.
When
Let's
will
see
be
how
it?
many.
Some noise if you are ready for a grand
Let's fly.
final.
Oh, Rob, I like that, but you know what? We're gonna do it one more time, one more time. Est-ce que vous êtes prêts pour la grande finale?
This is a clash of titans. This is, of
Let's
course,
go.
the two best
But
players
classical, I
left
think
in
that
this
you won't
event.
get
We
more than
started out with
17.
16, and now of
I
these
don't
two,
know, but I
only
will try.
one will punch their ticket
I will try
into
to
history.
make it wrong.
Both of these players had to fight through fierce brackets over the last
That
few
guy
days.
almost streamed
Fierce
his lunch
matches
start.
going on to get all the way to these grand finals. But
Let's
only
see
one
what is
of
going to
them
happen.
can put his key into that trophy and lift the winner's trophy here at EWC 2026.
Well, Damascus, that's enough said. It is time for us to get to the action. Ladies and gentlemen, it is time for the main event of the evening. And there is no time like showtime.
Showtime.
And is there a better showtime than an absolute clash of titans from the absolute titan of chess, Magnus
We can't see
Carlsen
anything.
himself, taking
What?
on the child prodigy, 19 years old, Dennis
It was
Lazarevic.
something like
These two players,
some
of
streaming
course,
problem.
have slashed through the competition from top to bottom. Some would look at this as if it was Dennis versus Goliath, but we do know just how that story ended.
Absolutely.
There we
That's
go.
Magnus Carlsen.
The OG
It's
goat is on the
rising up
screen,
entire
guys.
crowd. Everyone is there to watch the champion. There is a huge
Let's
story
go.
here to become the back-to-back.
The energy
Dennis,
here is
on the other
absolutely
hand,
electric.
we are going
As
to
you see
have
the
a
challenger,
huge
Dennis
matchup.
Lazarevic, entirely unfazed by the pressure, is showing that he has no fear.
Why don't they stop
Absolutely
yapping and
no
start the
fear.
game? Because they just want to advertise this game at highest level. So, you know, these are the things which will always be there.
Finals.
Magnus.
Magnus. They are going to be war. They are going to be asking some questions to these two guys.
To start
Magnus
out this
first.
event, you seem to
Oh man, what worse times to have an ad? Get out of here.
We'll we'll see.
We'll
you
see.
know, obviously, I'm still not 100%, but I feel like I've been getting a little bit better the last few days, and yeah, getting some positive experiences over the board always helps.
So there's been a lot said about your opponents maybe even fearing you, a lot of your opponents, because of how strong you are. Do you think Lazarevic fears you?
I know.
I don't
he
think
plays his
so.
own game, and you know,
At this
I
level,
think
you're not.
now
At
49
Super
more
Grandmaster level,
years.
if somebody makes a
The way
slight inaccuracy,
he has played in
then
events,
you can get
especially his
punished. So
speeches
I don't think
and
Dennis will be
online, like
getting
he's
scared of
beaten a
Magnus.
lot of
But still, there will be a
names that are a
cognitive
lot
dissonance that in
bigger
your mind
than his has
you will
been,
be
and you
feeling
cannot do
that
that
there
if
is
you
the OG
have
goat
that
in front
kind
of
of
me. I need to
confidence
do
that
my
you can do
best,
it. So I
and
don't think he fears
that
anybody.
can be like
Okay,
psychological
Magnus
pressure on
Carlsen
yourself,
officially
which of
fighting
course Dennis
to
will be
become the
feeling, I guess.
back-to-back EWC champion for chess.
But against him, someone else is trying to etch his name in history. Dennis, Magnus himself thinks he does not believe that you're scared of playing Magnus, as
Yeah.
you always show that
There we
cold
go. They are
calculation
just talking
and that
about this
confidence.
thing.
That's what transpired of our interviews, our couple discussions throughout the week. So how do you feel today? How confident do you feel taking out the absolute titan, the title defender?
I feel confident. It's a very special moment for me. That's why I play chess. Yeah, for such moments, so many people watching, and it's definitely a great moment, and it will be a great match.
All right, listen,
Oh.
this is a great match, and we're not gonna make you guys wait any further. Dennis gonna have you stand there for the pre-match face-off. Ladies and gentlemen, if
Dennis
you
will
are
win the
ready
first game.
for
Let's
grand
see. Let's see.
finals,
It is going
give
to
it
be
up
fun.
for Dennis Ladovic versus Magnus Carlsen.
We are ready for the final showdown. We have Magnus Carlsen, a guy who has won nearly every single title there is to win, and his challenger for today, 19-year-old
Wow, 91% of people are thinking that Magnus is going to win the game.
Boy, my colleagues were convinced.
I don't care about copyright.
Pre-game interviews, although Magnus obviously the favorite.
That's not a big problem.
Yesterday, right before Dennis played Nakamura, one of my colleagues.
We just wants to
"I think
watch the
Dennis is gonna win
action.
This match, and I looked at him with a funny look at my face, and I'm like, yeah, sure.
But I didn't get
Hikaru's gonna
any
lose."
copyright for the last day.
As the match progressed,
Not possible for Dennis to win, I think, NGL. But still, anything can happen.
How strong Dennis
It's
was.
not too late to be
Dennis has good
surprised in
chances in any
chess,
match.
man.
Obviously, Hikaru.
Okay, they are about
winning
to
that match
install
was a
the
small upset.
armband
Beating
on the
Magnus
player's
would be an
hand.
upset of much bigger proportions. Magnus is the reigning champion. Magnus hasn't lost a match. He didn't lose last year, didn't lose this year, and I think both players are ready for the upcoming grand final.
Absolutely.
Okay, there we
And
go.
Dennis, if he wants to win, he's going to have to defeat a man who has gone through this event unscathed. He hasn't lost. Magnus has not lost a single game in this competition so far. And here is
Wow, that's crazy. Magnus has not lost a single game in the competition. Can you believe that?
With the white pieces, what does he have in store? First
Wow.
up, what can
Magnus is
we
going to be
expect
playing with the
in
white
such an
pieces,
epic
so
match?
it is going to be fun.
Somebody in the audience yesterday
Will
asked me,
Magnus
"What do you and
defend his
Yogi have in
title,
common with
or will
Magnus?" And I gave them
Dennis
a good answer.
shock everyone
I
in the
said,
world of
"None
chess
of us
by
have lost a
beating
match.
one of the ultimate
We're all
OG
perfect.
of chess,
We haven't
none
lost.
other than Magnus
Luckily, we haven't
Carlsen?
played. Otherwise, my answer would have been
NGL
different.
Dennis did defeat Hikaru. I
If you're
think
asking
the
me,
person who
how
will
do you
win
beat Magnus in a
the
match?
first match will
I
win.
don't know. I
Magnus
never
is
seen him
unbeaten.
lose
Yeah,
anytime.
Magnus is unbeaten.
Otherwise,
So
Magnus
let's
played
see.
a
It is
match
going to
he
be
wins.
fun.
So this
Don't
would be
underestimate Dennis. He has
a
beaten the
delay in effort
second
if
best
Dennis
player
can
in the
take
world of
title.
chess,
And
none other than
for
Hikaru
somebody
Nakamura.
who would just
So it is not
recently
going to be
wasn't
like
even
a
a
single-handedly
grandmaster,
winning
this would
for
be by
Magnus.
far
It will be
the
a
biggest
tough game
prize
for
fight
him
he's
as
ever
well.
played for. For
I like
Magnus,
Bobby
this is
Fischer
matter of
more.
fact,
You have to
250K, I just
travel
throw it
to
on the
heaven
dial.
to watch
For
a
Dennis
matchup
Lazovic,
for
250K
Fischer.
would be by far the biggest prize he's ever won.
There's a lot of motivation.
I think
for
Prague and
the
Hikaru are
youngster.
the
He also
best.
etching his name
But
into
in
their
esports, I
history
don't think
books.
Prague has an
And also
upper edge.
winning the heart of absolutely
Yeah, you
everyone
can
in the
you
arena
can argue
as
that
we
Prague
await
is better in
this
the
final
classical or
in
on the
town.
OTB chess, but in
Magnus
online chess,
Carlsen, he's so
Prague is
strong.
not
He
that
has
good.
been
To be
world
honest,
number one, five-time
Nihal and
world
Arjun is better
champion,
than them,
world
but
racket
still
champion, world
they are
quiz
super
champion,
monsters. So I
world
hold
chess
no
champion.
right to comment on
the
those things.
accolades are
It is just my
pouring
own
in.
perspective.
So for Dennis,
Maybe I'm wrong.
to overturn that, it's going to require a lot of confidence.
Yes, in
a lot of
EWC, Prague doesn't
calculation,
feel that good in
and some
online. Yeah.
unpredictability.
It's not going to be easy. Magnus is the reigning champion. As you said, Magnus
Okay,
is the
there we
champion
go.
of every time control,
Look at the heart
every
rate.
format.
Magnus
And
just
we have a
calm chill,
different
just
format,
78,
actually,
but
this match
still
than the last one, Yofi. We have
Dennis
two
is
4-game matches
Dennis is already on
instead of the
120.
6-game match we saw.
Look at that!
Hikaru
Look at
and
that
Lazovic.
spectacle!
So we're in for some chess.
Showing-
We're gonna have several hours of
showing
amazing
signs.
chess. Hopefully Dennis can keep up and we can see a really close match, one that's really interesting for the spectators.
Okay, how
And
many
of course,
times left
Dennis
in the first
showing
game?
great form, and I think the two players who played the best this event so far are in the final. Both Both sides are worthy. Obviously,
Okay,
Magnus,
go.
we expect to be in the final.
The game is
Dennis is a
about to
little bit of a
begin.
surprise, but not the way he's been
Who
playing.
is the
The way he's
commentator?
been
I guess.
playing in the
I guess
tournament,
it is
it's no surprise
Berfangol.
at all that he made the final.
Okay, there we go,
We're
guys.
about to
Game
get
1
liftoff
has
as
been
Magnus
started.
thinks for a little bit. Don't
Okay,
think too
still
long.
some
He will
time
keep
left.
us guessing, and he opens up with
Okay,
a queen's
D4,
pawn.
C4,
Dennis,
E6.
he's a
We
very
are going to
trusty
have a
player. He's
Nimjo
going to
or
develop
Bogoit
his
and
knight and stake
D5.
that claim into the center. And we have
Rogozhin,
an opening,
Bishop
which is the
B4.
queen's gambit. Whether it's going to be declined, whether it's going to be accepted, well, we have an answer. The bishop comes out, sets up a pin, and dynamic is at play from Dennis.
Let's go.
This is
I
the
think we
most
should switch
aggressive
back to the
response.
sorry,
Plenty
chess.com
of
game.
options for white. You can come out with your bishop, set up your own pin. You can also take the pawn in the middle. You can also
Do you want to
try and
watch
check with the
for
queen.
Evil
He
Bar?
goes for that pin and gets
Let me set the
immediately
Evil Bar for
questioned.
you.
It's funny, Bishop B4 is probably the most common move in that position on move 4, but we haven't seen it a lot this event. Queen A4 check, forking the king.
Is
and
it good,
bishop,
guys?
Forcing black to block their C pawn with knight C6. This is a pretty common line. Black has the 2 bishops, but black's bishop on C8, as per usual, in the queen pawn openings isn't
Now
very,
it is going to be
isn't
fine,
very
I guess.
active. Magnus, as per usual, going for the safe,
Okay, we are
solid
going
advantage.
to stop this. In offline, Prague will be better in all formats. He is good in bullet blades, and we all know how he performed in the classical Norwegians, which also included Rapid as Armageddon. Yeah, that's right, that's right. But right now we are talking about online chess. Bro, what happened? My power cut happened. But nothing happens, bro. We are watching the first matchup between Magnus and none other than Denis Lazovic. And this is the question: Will Magnus defend his title against Denis Lazovic, or Denis Lazovic beat the top and only OG of the chess, none other than Magnus, to secure the title this time? It is going to be fun. Let's see. Okay, let's see. Let me show you the matchup. Game start with d4. Magnus opts for d4, knight f6, c4, e6, knight f3, and d5. The queen's gambit line is on the board, and now comes knight c3, bishop b4, Ragozin defense. Bishop goes to g5 here, pinning the knight to the queen, which makes sense. And now Dennis kicks out the bishop with the move h6. Bishop takes f6, queen takes f6, and now comes queen a4 check. Of course, it is not a hanging piece because knight can go to c6, which will defend the bishop. And of course, Dennis goes for knight c6, and now comes e3, supporting the pawn on c4 with the bishop, opening up the line, castles, and now comes bishop e2. And now is the time to take the pawn on c4 because you want to move your opponent's piece one more time to gain a tempo. Of course, there comes d takes c4. Again, Magnus Castle, there is no need to immediately capture the pawn. This pawn is not going anywhere, so Magnus can relax. Queen goes back to e7, keeping an eye on the bishop, not committing anything on the c3 square, because I don't think there is any need to hurry with bishop takes c3. Bishop takes c4, there you go, knight goes to a5. So the idea of queen e7 was to defend the bishop. And now the knight is hitting the bishop. I am considering bishop e2 or bishop d3. Magnus opts for bishop to e2, bishop takes c3, bc, and now comes b6 with the idea of bishop b7, and then maybe sometimes knight can jump onto c4 as well with the assist of bishop b7, and then bishop to d5. Okay, now let's see what is going to be happening. Magnus with 7 at 30 seconds on the clock offers a quintet with the queen to b4, and the idea is, of course, if he takes here, Magnus will recapture with the c pawn, improve the position, attacks the knight, knight has to go back, and then Magnus will play a3 to support the pawn. But I don't think he will agree because the c3 pawn is a backward pawn. Again, kind of colonial move, but he is moving the queen on his own territory. The idea is if Magnus captures the queen, then Dennis will be the one who will get the c file, and it will be easy to attack the pawn on c3. Bro, what happened? My power cut happened. Nimjo Union. I also play same opening, but I always lose because they are professional. We are not. We are not. Okay, there we go. Rook c1, anticipating some things happening on the c file. For the first time in this matchup, black is better, and the evaluation bar is thinking it's better for black, but only slightly, 0.2. Nimjo converted into Queen's Gambit decline. Yeah. You can call it an Nimjo Indian defense once you play like knight to c3. Once you play knight to c3 here, and then bishop comes out to b4 to pin that knight. But here, of course, white goes for knight f3, and then comes d5, which is known as the classic QGD, Queen's Gambit decline. And after knight c3, bishop b4. Now, this is the Queen's Gambit decline, Ragozin defense. Or you can call it Ragozin variation as well, bishop g5, and then we get into this position where knight is, I think, rerouting itself to c4, maybe offering a knight trade, hitting the queen there. I quite like the position of black because black bishop looks great here. But maybe Magnus' idea is to counter that bishop with the move bishop f3 here. Knight can jump onto c4. Makes sense. Black knight doesn't seems to be good, but it is not like every time the knights on the rims are bad or knights on the rims are dim. It is doing a great job controlling c4, not allowing white to push c4 easily. If white is able to push c4 easily, then white's problem will be solved. c3 is the only weakness in white camp. Queen's gambit is not gambit. You're giving up his c pawn. What? You're giving up his c pawn. I didn't see that. Okay, Danish trades. Wow, creating first imbalances of the game, and now white will use the a file to attack. People don't like to take the c4 pawn as the after e3 the pawn will taken by light square bishop eventually. Yeah. That's right. Okay, now okay, a5 forces the queens off the board. And now, will Danish takes with the pawn or will he recapture with the rook? Okay, of course he takes back with the pawn. The idea is to pressurize the pawn on c3. But it is not easy. If white is ever pushing c4, then the dark square will be soft. It's same player bishop. Both players have two rooks. It might end it in a draw, but let's see what is going to happen. We have seen Magnus last time that he is very tricky in the end. Initially he can think like, yes, let's make it a draw, but you never know what is going to happen in his mind. Okay, he goes for c4, but c5 is not going to be happening too soon. That means this bishop might not seem that great. This bishop do have some influence over here, but what about this bishop? Maybe Magnus will route this bishop to e4, and he can try to create another imbalances of the game to execute d5. But d5, e5 will completely lock up the position, and it will be very hard to generate any kind of attack. Maybe rook b1, b4 will be the idea. According to the computer, the best move for black was b5, trying to open up the c file as soon as possible because black has the entire control over c file. There you go, rook b1 preparing b4. Double could be useful sometimes. Let's see. The idea is to push b4 and try to open up the b file for Magnus. b6 pawn is a soft pawn. If Magnus will succeed in opening up the b file, the b6 pawn might be in trouble. The b6 pawn might be in trouble. Okay, if you guys don't know, it is going to be 10 plus 0 game. There will be no increment. And the format is every players will play against each other in 6 rapid games. If they decided the winner, then you will get the winner. And if it gets to the sixth game, then it might get into the Armageddon. Let's see what is going to happen. Can Magnus go for rook b2 now? Okay, bishop a6 kind of putting pressure on the c4, discouraging white to play b4. Because if you are playing b4 too soon, c4 might be hanging. Is the final format? Yeah, it's the final format. 6 rapid game, 3 set. Magnus is playing live. Yes, he's playing live. Okay, it is going to be epic. I want to watch action in the end game. It is still like a kind of middle game where both players have almost 5 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. So it is kind of calm, slow games. But once it gets to like last 2 minutes, it will be fun to watch. It will be fun to watch. Again, the only move, not only move, but the best move according to the computer for black is good d5, trying to damage the pawn structure and get the access of c file. Like you can go d5 here. Okay, it's black to move d5. If he takes here, then rook can come to c2. Yeah, but first of all, bishop takes e2 is very hard, and then there is simple e takes d5. If you are capturing this king d6 and the pawn on d5 might fall, and black has the complete control over the c file. This might be better for black. So let's see if Dennis is going to find d5 or not. d5 is a very tricky move. I said e4 was coming. E4. E4, yeah, you said e4, and there we go. E4 is on the board. And Dennis is taking pause. Okay, he goes for e5, which is slight inaccurate but still fine playable. King came to e3 to defend the pawn on d4 now. Magnus wants to assist the center with the king, and look at the OG endgame player already activating the king, anticipating an endgame, and then Magnus might have an upper edge because his king is much active than this king. Okay, rook takes d4, rook c5. Now again, Magnus is up on the clock. He is almost 120 seconds ahead on the clock. Dennis has to be very, very careful. He has only 4 minutes on the clock, and there is still many things remain on the board. Both pairs have 2 rooks and a bishop, and there are 6 pawns on the board. b5 is never coming now. Magnus goes for f4. Maybe the idea will be to push e5 sometimes, and even going f5, trying to get the king to f4. Also trying to discourage the move g5, f6. The f6 is the top move to try to discourage e5, because if e5 happens, king can go to a5 and then open up the light square bishop. That might be the useful, but then he finds f6. Okay, doubling up on the d file, attacking d6. Hello Arno, welcome to the stream. 0.2 Magnus will win. Let's see. Okay, rook to d8 defends the pawn here. Will Magnus goes for bishop to f3, trying to execute e5 then. Can we play it? And the best move is just play g4, take the space on the king side and try to run all these pawns down the board. Magnus goes for rook e1, it is back to equality. I don't know what is the idea. Maybe to push b4, because if he takes, then bishop might be hanging. Bishop goes back to c8, trying to reroute the bishop to the diagonal. And now b4 might not be that effective because there is no bishop which can be captured. e5 is not coming too soon as well. So black is holding on his position very nicely. G4 again. Okay, he goes for G3 instead of G4. Bishop goes to E6. As I said, Bishop is now kind of active on this diagonal. There we go, H4. But how Magnus is going to create anything on the king side? That's the question. Now again, black has to push H5 to stop the advancement of the pawn. If Magnus allowed to push H5, then the pawn on G7 will be freezed. And again, H5 can be played here. H5 can be played, and then Magnus has to work very hard to execute G4 or G5. Sorry, Dennis, I should say. Bishop goes to D3. I don't even know what is the idea because E5 is not happening, so Bishop is not doing much on this diagonal. King D2, King C3 is coming maybe, trying to guard these pawns and then trying to use the bishop onto this diagonal. Mouse slip G3. Really? I don't think so. Okay, both players are kind of repeating the position. We might see the first draw of the game. But still, Magnus has upper edge on the clock. He is above 1 minute. Dennis has only 2 minutes 50 seconds. Okay, bishop goes back to E2. Maybe now H5. Okay, rook D2. Maybe Dennis is thinking about B5, but that's very well guarded by the bishop and the pawn. Rook goes to C7. King D4. Look at that king marching to the center of the board. And now what is in Magnus' mind? E5 is not happening. I don't know what is the idea of bishop putting on D3 because it is not getting open up on this diagonal. Maybe now is the time to execute B4. But again, C4 pawn might be hanging in this line. B4 is not achievable. Maybe rook C1 can be played. Bishop goes back to E2. Magnus is trying to get this game into the very end of the game. Like if Dennis will feel like there is going to be some time pressure on the clock, he will surely make some blunders and mistakes. And Magnus wants that. Okay, the both players are just trying to repeating the position. Not repeating, Magnus is trying to find a way, whereas Dennis seems to be out of the idea. He's just trying to give the move to the white. One inaccuracy just Magnus need. Yeah, Inzet could not understand Magnus' plan. Risk it for the biscuit. Yeah, that's the saying. Again, bishop e6. I don't know. Maybe trying to keep an eye on the c4 pawn, not allowing b4 to be pushed easily. That is the idea. Magnus doesn't have any idea either as well. Nothing is going to be working for him. b4 simply loses the pawn on c4 and your king might be in trouble in the center of the board. So you don't want to go b4 too early. Can Magnus goes for rook a1, rook c1 now to defend the pawn and then trying to execute b4. Rook c1 now. f5 is the best move, trying to kick out the bishop back. But if you are going f5, what about your light square bishop? You have to read out all the way to this diagonal. 1 minute time difference. Now Magnus with now the time difference is not so huge. Magnus with 2 minute 30 second, Dennis with 2 minute 50 second. 15. Rook a4. I mean, now we can see the repetition. Bishop goes back with some ideas of okay. There we go. b4 happens. Wow. Now you can't take here because you are going to lose the rook. Or maybe that rook might be hanging in this line. Rook takes c4 is a check. That's the important thing. And here he can go for this line. No. But what if he just takes this? Then b takes a5. After this move, you can go for like this check. And then g7 will be falling. Wow, that's great. And white might win the game. There we go. That is very tricky move. Will Dennis goes for this? No, he attacks the rook now. Magnus is now rook goes back. Again, you can't take here because you're going to lose an exchange. A takes b4, rook takes b4, b6 pawn might be hanging. There we go. First pawn break of the game. Rook takes b4, b6 pawn, rook a6. Rook a6 or rook a2, rook b2, or maybe rook b3 instantly. But again, c4 might be hanging in some line because you are not executing c5. For the moment, Dennis is defending the pawn. Rook a6 now, trying to attack the pawn like this. Yes, there we go. But rook b7. For the moment, Dennis is holding everything, but he is 30 seconds below on the clock. There we go. Bishop to e6, trying to put pressure on the c4 pawn somehow. But rook and king both are defending the pawn very well. Will Magnus find any way to activate his pieces even further? I don't think so. Now it is up to Danish to make some mistakes. Otherwise, it is just going to be a draw. Let's go. It is going to be epic. c4 under fire. King d4 defends the pawn. But what about b6? b6 is falling. But c4 might be now b6. Okay, there we go. Rook b7. Initially there was rook takes c4 at the end of the line. Rook a7 forcing one of the rook back. Sorry, forcing one of the rook off of the board. Okay, Magnus is waiting. Magnus wants Dennis to take on e7. Dennis with only 1 minute on the clock. Now he's thinking what to do. Magnus had some upper edge on the clock. 1 minute 35 seconds. There we go. Okay, trades the rook. Rook a8 check. King goes back to e7. The only move. Rook a6 back to keep an eye on the pawn. Can he play rook g8 to attack the g7 pawn? But rook g8, king f7 attacks the rook and defends the pawn. That might not be the useful move. Bishop goes back to e2, maybe trying to get to the diagonal. Will Magnus takes the pawn or maybe okay, he takes the bishop and now it is just a classic rook endgame, which might end in a draw comfortably. g3 is hanging. Will he go for g4? Very hard. Rook takes d6 is there. Anything can happen. We have seen Magnus. Okay, he's advancing with the king. Maybe king e6 is the idea. King e6, there we go. But still everything is fine. Both pair has equal pawns. Rook z4 is the move, attacking both of the pawns. But according to the computer wants to execute g5 right away. Magnus taking the lead on the clock. Okay, he's forcing rooks off the board. Dennis. There we go. But pawn endgame might be very tricky. f5 or king f5 is the move, trying to defend both of the pawns. King g6. Okay, didn't allow king g6. But there is no check. Black king might be completely safe. You can't go there to attack the pawn. Very tricky endgame. King g4 attacks the rook. There we go. Another breakthrough. Now this pawn might get through. But black. Oh, now it's completely winning. Rook off the board. King is advancing. Wow, there we go. That's the endgame Magnus. That's the OG goat of Magnus. Wow, that's crazy. It is completely winning. It's forced mating too well. King goes to e6, d6. Pawn here, king gets flanked away. Pawn has to be pushed. This is not stalemate. If you remove these two pawns, then it is stalemate. There we go. Dennis resigns. Magnus takes on Dennis Lazarevic. It is now 1-0, guys. Wow. Let's have a quick recap over here. Let's have a quick recap. Another breakthrough. Magnus creates a huge passer with just 3 steps away from queening. And now king g8, e6. And now Dennis goes for king f8, which immediately results in rook f5, forcing rooks off the board. And this king and pawn endgame is completely winning because white king is so much active and black can't easily push this pawn. King goes to here, simply king e5. Again, you can't push this pawn because g6 and person and you are losing anyway. King goes back and now simply king advances to d6, king here and now that's check. King goes back to e8 and king e6. If you remove these two pawns, then it is a classic draw because black king will have no legal move. But here black is allowed to push this pawn to g5 and then comes en passant, h5, g7, h4, and white promotes with the queen and delivers this beautiful checkmate. Wow, how beautiful this is. That's why we call Magnus the OG goat of chess, the ultimate endgame monster. There we go for the second matchup. Let's see what is going on there. Okay, I think there will be a pause in between the games. So I don't think the second game have been started. Oh, it has been started now. Let's go. Has been started. This time Dennis with the white pieces, another Queen's Gambit. Now it is kind of English Gambit. Sorry, English opening because white opens with d4, then c4, and immediately goes for knight to f3. Okay, now it has been converted. It was initially Queen's Gambit decline, and now this is the position which arises from English open. Okay, anyway, Queen's Gambit again. Rook endgame are drawn, but not for Magnus. Yeah, Rook endgame are drawn. And if you guys are enjoying the stream, how did you change the arrow cloud? You just have to use Shift, Control, and Alt button on the keyboard. And again, if you guys are enjoying the stream, do hit that like button, make it to the 20 likes. And if you're new to the channel, you can check out the channel and you can subscribe the channel and become the proud member of this community, which is growing nicely. Can you repeat that? You just need to press the shift button and then draw the arrows. It is green. If you press control button, then you will get the red arrow. And if you press the alt button, then you will get the blue arrow. Magnus absolute goat, yeah. Dil will do his famous robot dance at 50 likes. Yeah, that's right. I will do that robot dance. Okay, for the timing, white is down a pawn, but c4 pawn is not going anywhere. White will regain this pawn easily. Why modern defense are not played against d4 at higher level? Because modern defense is kind of passive. You really give entire center to the white pieces. Okay, now white has the option of playing bishop takes c6, trying to attack the rook, and then c4 might be hanging in some lines. But it has been played like almost millions of times. As I can see, there are some games, but not now. If you go before this one, okay, already we are in the new territory. No, there are some handful of games, but now I think we are in the new. But it has been played over the board so many times. But on chess.com at higher level, this is the new territory. C6 is getting attacked, c4 is hanging. Magnus might be in trouble, but let's see. White looks better. Yeah, white looks much better now because c6 might be hanging, c4 might be hanging easily. It is very hard for black to hold on to his position. The bishop has not been developed. You can play bishop b7, but then queen takes c4 again with some pressure on bishop c6. Again with some pressure on bishop to c6. Okay, I think we can leave this game. We will get back to this game once we get closer to like last end game. It is now early middle game. Both players are going to be thinking some moves. What do you guys want? Do you want to see the matchup or do you want to have some games? Let's see. What are you interested in? Should I play some games or should I just keep continuing this matchup? B8, white is slightly better now. Bishop takes c6 looks good to me. Ah, but bishop takes c6, you allow rook b4, attacking the queen and defending the pawn here. Play some games. Yeah, I think we can play some games and we will be back at this game once this game gets closer to the end game when both players will have like 3 to 4 minutes. Let's go. Let's play some 3 minute bridge game. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I'm playing with black pieces. Destructor D Mundos. Wow. This is the exchange Caracan. Bishop G4 here. E6. Bishop E7 can be played. Now let's castle. Oh, what about C3? Let's try to attack C3. Hmm. This move. Let's go at 6. Ask some question to the bishop. He goes back. Bishop s5 because I want to drop this bishop to this diagonal. Sometimes c. Oh, knight to c4 is coming. I need to act now. Let's go b6. Wow, White is not even thinking. He has 240 seconds on the clock. Literally. Knight to c5 now. Oh, he takes the knight. Okay. What to do? Knight d7 is a threat here. Try to execute this move. I need to break apart this pawn ship. The knight on c5 is a goat. Yeah, let's recapture. Or maybe I should have captured with the bishop to attack the pawn on c3. But now we are threatening knight takes f3 followed by this. But queen is going to be defending that. So maybe knight c4 is better. If he takes this pawn with the bishop here, then he might be in trouble. Okay, he goes for this. Wow. Kind of crazy. His idea will be to play c4. So let's go knight c4 ourselves. Bishop can't be moved. Play some is hello, Krishna, hello, welcome to the stream. Position chess or tactical chess? Most tactical. Finally, my opponent is thinking. Oh, he unpins the bishop and attacks this. These guys are crazy. Hello. And now the knight is hanging, so I need to play this move. Wow, man. He actually get away with this capture. Yeah, there was literally no way to put pressure on the bishop. What to do? Let's go a5. You are not capturing, you will lose the knight. Get out of here. 2 1 2 3 4 region. Suffocating you, bro. Okay, now I'm kind of threatening this move. We will regain the pawn on b4 square, and we might be fine. Pawn knight takes f6. Oh, let's take. Queen takes. Oh. Now he's up 2 pawns, right? Queen g6, and I'm dead. I need to stop queen g6 at any cost. He will take this. I was knowing that. Let's go for this. Wow, I might be in trouble, guys. I might be in trouble. Okay, let's trade. He going to throw check. 30 seconds for my opponent. Ah, no, man. He just forced rooks off the board. Fuck, I'm not moving. The king is just controlling the game. Oh man, but still, it's not winning. Draw reputation. I should have been careful. The moment I capture the pawn here, I should have advances the king. It takes, but he see. How did he see that? This is very important move. Even if I can take king a2, the white king is on the light square, and opposite color bishop have the tendency of ending in a draw anyway. Because I'm never going to kick out the king, and then I can't execute king g2, so this pawn might be not winning. Still, it was tricky, but he had 4 seconds. Everything was like pre-move. Okay, let's go to the matchup now. Let's see what's happening over there. Oh, that's a miss, Magnus. Magnus is at a pawn for the moment. From watching your live, I got plus 20 today. Wow, that's great. And again, if you guys are enjoying the game, please do hit that like button. There are only 13 likes, really. Only 13? What is stopping you from hitting that like button? Make it to the 20 likes at least. At least there are 22 people watching, so likes should be 22 as well. Okay, nothing new happens over here. Let's see the game. After rook b8, Magnus goes for bishop takes. Oh, sorry, Dennis goes for bishop takes c6, but now comes queen takes d4, bishop e3, queen e5, bishop f4, queen goes to c5, bishop e3, queen h5. Dennis tries to repeat the position, bishop f3, again attacking the queen. But look at that move, self-pinning for immortality, knight to g4, pinning himself. Wow. In order to get rid of the attack with the bishop. But now comes h4, inaccurate move. Black is winning. Bishop b7 now is very strong. Trying to get rid of the light square bishop. And then maybe even sacrificing the bishop on h4. So what happens over here after h4? There comes rook takes b2 by Magnus. Queen takes a7. And now it is up to Magnus. What he is going to think. Both players have almost equal time on the clock. Magnus with 3 minutes 40 seconds. Dennis with 3 minutes 28 seconds. From watching your stream, I learned the robot dance. That's great. That is the exact thing which you are supposed to learn from here. You could have won the match. Why was that a miss? Why was that a miss? That's a great question. Because I think it misses the move bishop b7. He's so strong, trying to get rid of the light skirt bishop, and then knight on g4 will be a monster piece. And then some ideas related to bishop takes h4 will be there, like bishop b7, and there is nothing better. Best move is bishop to f4, but then maybe e5 is even stronger here. It may seem you can take, but then comes bishop takes f3, removing the bishop, and now the knight is no longer pinned, and knight takes e5 is a possibility. That's the idea. Okay, bishop goes to d4 now, maybe with the idea of opening up a line of attack on the rook. Bishop f6, position is equal. Both players are almost 3 net on the clock. But again, the question is, will Magnus be able to generate any kind of attack on the f file? Because his knight looks great. Dennis doesn't want to give up the light square bishop for this knight, but knight is controlling some key squares in white camp. Oh man, my mouse. Knight goes to e4 with the idea of attacking the bishop, offering a bishop trade. Queen can rejoin the game. Queen looks like offside for the moment. No. Okay, Magnus with the pause here. Bishop takes f6 came and queen takes e4. Again, Magnus is offering a queen trade. But Magnus has these double pawns, which can be like easy target for white rooks. But still, Magnus is going for this. He do have the better understanding of the game, so we are not about to criticize these moves. Queen to e5. Will Danish trade the queen, or will he go for anything else? Queen takes c4 is a possibility here. Queen takes c4 is a possibility, but again, you have to be very, very careful. You might run into like some sort of bishop here and then bishop d5. Bishop, or look at that, bishop is still on the home square. This bishop does not has been moved. It is still on its home square. And this is the game, move number 20 of the game. Wow, man. Both players have only like 2 minutes on the clock, and look at that bishop enjoying himself on the home square. There we go, bishop e7. Now bishop e5 is coming to attack the queen. The bishop is on the chair. Bishop d5 might be very strong for black because rook is controlling some meaningful square here. Queen really has to be like go back to c1. But after bishop d5, you have to keep an eye on the knight as well, as it is only defended by your light square bishop, whereas queen is already attacking the knight. Not attacking, but keeping an eye. Again, Dennis with some trouble on the clock. Only 1 minute 17 seconds for Dennis. Magnus with upper edge on the clock one more time. It has been the story since like last day. Magnus was up on the clock like yesterday against Firuza as well, and here again he is doing the good stuff, keeping the pace of the game. Dennis eliminates the knight, but now both players have the light square bishop. Yeah, okay, bishop goes back. Another trade happens. Now c7 might be the target, whereas white has a great asset in the form of outside passer. And if you have the knowledge of endgame, you might know that if you have something better in the endgame, you want to have an outside passer. But look at those rooks on the second rank. Okay, Dennis offers a queen trade over here. Queen takes, and rook takes e2 is there. And now again we are in this dead drawing endgame, but we have seen the effect of Magnus in the just last game. What happens over there? So you are never ruling out the possibility of a miracle in this game as well. Both players have two rooks. Dennis would love to eliminate one of the rooks from the board, but again, Magnus wants to keep everything on the board. Okay, both players trying to repeat the position. Magnus has 2 minutes. Dennis only with 47 seconds on the clock. Don't forget, there is no increment in the game. It is just 10 plus 0, sudden death. Okay, rook e2, rook c3. Both players are just trying to, okay, Dennis eliminates one of the rooks from the board, but again, Dennis has these double pawns, whereas Magnus' pawns are intact. He can try to make a breakthrough. Both players are rapidly moving their rooks here and there. Okay, will Magnus find a way to outplay Dennis in this game as well, or Dennis survive or not? That's the question. Dennis with only 38 seconds, he's almost moving the every move. But Dennis has to be very, very careful. Once he gets below 20 seconds, Magnus is so tricky at the end. Again, Magnus will execute some pawn push at some moment. Maybe f4. Can we be trying to messing up the pawn structure over here? Again, Magnus with 1 minute 30 seconds. Dennis below 30 seconds. Only there we go. First pawn push. Rook is controlling the sixth rank. There is no check. Magnus will slowly but surely advances his pawns, and he's using his rook effectively again, but it ended in a draw by repetition. So the exact same position happens the 3 times. So it is just a repetition. First time this is the first position, then it is the second position. You can see the king and rook and everything is on the same place, and then this is the again the same position. So if the same position occurs in a chess game 3 times, it should not be like continuous repetition. It can be like in any phase of the game. First was this position, it is the move number 75. Second was this position, move number 79, and the last was 81, move number 81. Of course, Magnus would be like so frustrating by this because player doesn't know that it is going to be threefold repetition at the end, and these kind of situation. Lucky survived for Dennis. It is going to be even harder for Dennis now. But Magnus was going for the kill. He really executed everything which he has, and he was killing them. Hello, Jinmu. Welcome to the stream. I'm not understanding. Sarthak, you don't need to understand everything. You just need to enjoy some of the beauty of chess. And how is your study going? Let's go back. Let's see the third matchup. Okay, it was set 1, so I think set 2 will take some time to start. Or will it start quickly? I can see there is no game started. Okay, that means we can play some games. Let's go back. Let's play another 3 minutes. And let's try to win this one. I'm going to start with 1e4 this time. Okay, we are facing the French defense, so let's go for the draft. What f6? What is f6? Never play f6 as Ben Feingold said. Okay, I think he's trying to get me off guard, but let's try to be solid. Let's try to be solid. He repeats. Okay, he gets the knight to f7 square. Castle. I can castle as well. Rook e1, knight f1. I can go for knight f1. I don't need to respond to this move. My center is completely fine here. Now queen 2. Okay, let's lock the center here. Queen d2 with the idea of bishop to h6. But knight is controlling this. Yeah, this knight is so annoying over here. Hard to do anything. f4. Yeah, let's go for f4. Let's try to open up the f file. Then g6 might be in trouble. Bishop takes. I can drop my knight. This knight is very good. How to get rid of that? Let's offer a knight trade. Trying to create imbalances. Oh, I lost h3, I guess. I need to play this move in order to defend both of them. Knight on e5 is very great. That means I'm never going to be spinning this rook. How am I supposed to have some sort of attack? Oh, queen is different. Wow, this guy is very good. Oh man, this guy is literally very good. The knight is. Look at this pawn mess. And d4 might be hanging. Let's with the bishop over here. We have a great asset, I think. b4. This is not coming. Position is completely long. Let's try to open up the files over here. I don't want to allow this to attack on the queen. Again, that's not a big deal. Let's take and go queen b5, queen c7, and I can play this move. Let's go rook a1, take control of this. Rook c4 is fine. g4 is not happening over here. Oh, I missed this move. This guy is way too annoying. He's not even thinking. Oh, I'm getting checkmated now. Fuck, man. Rook is way too strong. I should have been careful there. I allowed this check and now that's resigned. That's resigned well. What's going on in the chat? Anybody have guts to defeat this? Okay, let's go. How was that guess so good, man? With only 2050 rating. I need to win these. Don't want to lose another one. Okay, again, do not pin knight g to f6. Let's pin this knight. He can go h3. And then g4 even, because in this kind of setup, white usually wants to bring the bishop out and go queen side. Or I should have gone queen a5 earlier. Should have gone queen a5 earlier. Bishop there, yeah. Pass about where that as well. Let's trade. There you go. Oh man, this is bad. I'm not having good time here. How did I miscalculate? I should have just go back. I thought knight c3 will be better there. Oh, this is so stupid. So stupid by me. We are about to lose another one. What is this now? Who should get this? Shit, 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 shit. F3. Bishop here. Maybe I can go after his king because his king is a little bit weak. Apart from that, I don't think we will be surviving this. Sir, first you give me answer. Bro, Sartak, you have to wait, man. This is not working. C6 is under fire. If you move the bishop from the diagonal, then something will happen. Maybe now bishop to d5. I need to get this game into like last 30 seconds. Only then something can happen over here. Wow, look at that beautiful move. Wow, this is beauty. Knight is almost lost. He is not only up a piece, he's up an exchange as well. Let's try to attack some of the weaknesses over here. Are you reading fifth grade? What? Okay, now he's forcing queens off the board. Let's resign. Why? Back to back 10 points. How the heck I'm losing these games? And I lost 20 points in 2 games. This is crazy stuff. Let's go a4. I don't want to allow b5. Wow, man. Everybody's finding crazy things immediately. e5. Can I go for this? Let's attack the tail. Knight f6. I got queen e3. Very important. Black might offer a queen trade, which is going to be very annoying. Okay, goes for f6. Can I play this? But then knight e5 is very, very annoying there. But let's go. If he goes for knight e5, I'm going to sack the queen for 2 rooks. And then after I play rook b7. No, queen is defending this. Still, it will be good. Okay, it takes. Let's recapture here. He's going to trade the rook, I guess. And then queen takes a4. Oh, I think he can trade this rook. And after I recapture, there's going to be queen takes a4. But I will get rook d6, attacking b6, keeping an eye on e6. There you go. You find these. And I'm like too late. Let's attack this. Queen can't go back easily. Oh, he's going for another pawn. Wow, I'm gonna sacrifice every pawns on this side of the board. And the only thing which I'm going to have is this kind of a jack on the king side, which is of course not gonna be working. Bro, what chess books for 826 elo? Don't go for any books, bro. Just play chess on your own and try to analyze them. You don't need to buy any book. Okay, he's defending that with the queen. Okay, let's go knight to h4 here. There is no check to fork the king and the rook. And now I'm discouraging queen takes g6 basically. That means knight will be tied down. And now he is threatening this move. He is threatening this move. Oh, knight is also hanging. Oh no, oh no. f4 is the only move. Knight, queen is defending this square. So he can't take my knight and there is no queen e5 check. He got only 30 seconds. Again, the knight is holding on everything. That's the annoying thing here. The knight is holding on everything. Maybe now rook takes b6. He can just start pushing this pawn. Yeah, look at that. Let's stay here. Let's see how he's going to recapture. Pawn takes is the only move. Oh, he takes back with the knight. Now you'll have this move. You can have this. Oh, he's forcing queens off the board. Queen takes f6. Fuck. Fuck, man. At the end, I messed up. Okay, time. Time saves me. Time saves me. What is going on, Jim? Just leave those things. Good, thank you, Spotify. Sarthak is one of my students. Oh, yeah, he's in, I think, fourth grade. But let's leave that. Don't try to have a fight. He's just learning something. And try to encourage him rather than trying to have a fight over there. New game. But we are going to be watching game between Magnus and Dennis as well. Let's see what is going on here. Game has not been started. When will set 2 will take place? When is set 2 is going to take place? Oh, still set 2 has not been like started. Oh, was it like only set 1? No, set 2 is going on. My bad. Set 2 is going on. We are again in another end game. Rook and pawn end game. Equal. Wow, this is going to be another crazy hell of game. Sarthak, stop having fight and try to enjoy the game if you wants to. Another draw. But draw will only help Magnus, man. Draw will only help Magnus. Okay, let's go for another game because they might have some. Okay, I think the fourth game will start immediately. The fourth game will start immediately. 2000 elo के आगे progress नहीं हो रहा है. The best way to analyze your own game, I would say that. Your opening for white. My opening for white is Italian, and for black it is sometimes Sicilian, sometimes Caracan. Data 76. What? Your opening for white. I said that. I usually play Italian with the white pieces. Okay, let's see what is going on the live broadcast.
Right, that was effortless from him. Easy draw. And now the pressure.
You just ordered
A
from
draw will
Myntra.
only help
Congrats.
Magnus here. Live game
Just
start.
overpaid.
होगा
Every
क्या bro?
Myntra order you place
Yes,
without
brother.
Buy Hut Chrome extension.
Let's just skip
Dennis was
this.
the one that was scrambling for that draw. He has to shake things up. He has to take the game into unpredictable waters. Something that Magnus is not able to navigate clearly and smoothly.
It's funny, in
Star
game one,
Fox.
Magnus played D4, then Magnus changed up to E4. Dennis can
I'm
do the
from
same
Bihar.
thing. Dennis played D4, didn't get any advantage. I wonder if he'll play E4 and try to mix it up like Magnus playing
Okay, there we
E4
go.
in
Game
game
4
3.
is about to start here. Let's have a refresh. Let's see. This time Dennis with the white pieces and Magnus with the black pieces. And this is the game number 4. That means Dennis has to win this one if he wants to keep himself in the matchup. If this game ended in a draw, then it might be like seal for Magnus. He will just manage somehow to get a draw at least in one of the last 2 games, and then he will be just completely winning. This game is going to be very tough for both of the players because Dennis will try his best, whereas Magnus will just try to keep the calm and try to maintain another equality in the game. And if he can secure this game as a draw, Magnus might win the tournament, and he might will. Okay, there is the 4th game, and he might defend his title. Let's see. 2000 rapid rating. How can I improve? I said that after 2000, basically, if you want to improve at chess, you just have to do the action. Like, do the action. Don't try to look out for like many questions and answer. You basically solve puzzles. You basically improve your openings. You improve your end game knowledge, and you try to analyze like all of your games, whether you lose or win. These are the things which you like combine together to have an improvement. And the only thing is, people just ask questions. How do I improve at chess? You have to take some actions as well. I'm 2040 Yellow Bullet. Bleach. Could although Magnus win? It is going to be happening, I guess. What is score? What is score? Score is a 3-1. Sorry, 2-1, I should say. Score is 2-1 after 3 games. 2 games have ended in a draw. In the second game, Magnus secures a win. So this is the 4th game. It is going to be very interesting. Magnus already taking a pause here. It was the Ninja Indian defense finally, and Magnus out for c5 line. D takes c5, and now comes knight c6. And now the Dennis is the one who is thinking whether you play e3, whether you should play a3, queen c2, queen b3. All of these are like standard move in the Ninja Indian defense. Queen c2 is one of the most played move. And queen d3 is also a move which has been played quite a few times at the top level. But I would say that Dennis is going to play either queen c2 or queen to b3. Let's see. Hello, Karnus. Welcome to the stream. Sorry, bro, my electricity was gone, so I just came back. It's fine, Santa. Welcome back to the stream. Magnus is the GOAT. We all know that. We all know that. Okay, there we go. Queen c2 is on the board. Trying to keep an eye on the knight, not allowing black to damage the pawn structure. Standard bishop takes c5 goes back. And now you can see e3. You can even see e4 as well. Bishop g5 is there as well. Trying to pin the knight to the queen. Bishop f4 is another standard move, trying to take control of the diagonal, not allowing black to play queen to c7. a3, good move, stopping knight b5, which would attack the queen. मुझे भी सिखाओ भाई क्या सिखाऊं भाई टीम लिक्विड बेस्ट प्लेयर्स Did Dennis win the first game? No. First game have ended in a draw. Second game, Magnus won that one. And third game also ended in a draw. So this is the 4th game. Very important for Dennis. If this game's ended in a draw, then you might see that Magnus is going to hold on, and he might defend his title. So in terms of keeping the match alive, Dennis has to win this game if he wants to keep himself in the matchup. But it is going to be very tough, as Magnus in these kind of situations slowly, gradually improve his position, and he just tries to make a draw because he's already ahead on the score. Secret Research come to another stream. First आने वालों को कितना मनी मिलेगा? I think $150,000. Yeah, I think $150K. In other videos, not for this channel. What? There are 3 set total 18 games total if score is equal. What? I don't understand what what you guys are talking about. किस team पे DC भाई की या कोई what? 190K I guess. I think 150K it is. Magnus is father. 150K. Yeah, I'm right. Santa is fixing the data. He is correcting us all. Okay, e3, there we go. That means Dennis will try to execute b4 sometimes and then trying to think at a bishop onto this diagonal. There you go, b4 happens, and now bishop b2 is one of the standard move. Bishop e2 there, and then castle king side is coming. Black can castle on this move right now. Rook c8 is one of the moves, trying to keep the rook on this semi-open c file where the white queen is located. So far so good. We are in the opening itself. Both players has finished his development, but white is about to bring this bishop out to the e2 square. It can go to d3 as well, but I suppose bishop e2 might be fine, trying to keep an eye on the knight, so this bishop cannot be dangerous on the diagonal. Where if you play bishop d3, sometimes black can try to damage your pawn structure on f3 by eliminating the knight. You have to recapture with the g pawn. If you don't want to allow that, so bishop e2 is the standard move, followed by kingside castle. I just said 250k. Wow, that's great. Now bishop e2 is coming, followed by kingside castling. Okay, let's try to have a match. Then we will get back to this game once this game gets closer to like the end game, like last 3 to 4 minutes. In dollar, I guess. Okay, let's go for the Sicilian this time. Okay, this is the canal attack. Queen takes surprising. Chesswiz India पे या CDC के चैनल पे जीरो 10 crore. I can advance with this move, but let's play g6, trying to flank into the dark square bishop over here, castling kingside. Only then going for b5, queenside advancement. I don't want to rush here. Castle is going to be the next move. I mean, if we convert it into piece, let's expand now. I don't have this. I do have this. Let's maybe some b7 now. Knight g4. Simple queen d2 is good. Okay, something is happening over here. Let's go back now. Rook c8 is standard move. What is this? Oh, I can play bishop takes f3, but then he takes this. But I got this move, I'm taking the queen first, and then we will save the bishop. Now, if he goes for this, if he takes this, then it is simple. We will win a pawn over here. e6. What does e6 do? I'm not in. I'm simply up a piece here. I think it was a mouse slip. I need to move this bishop though. That's not a move. Or this. Yeah, this looks interesting. Oh, where to go? Knight is hanging down. Oh, that's the problem. Okay, he wants to capture the knight. Knight e5 or knight e5. If he takes the bishop, knight takes f3 will be a4. Well, I was missing this. Don't take on e6. Yeah, should be winning for us. He can take this pawn, but then we simply slide the king over to h8. We don't need to capture this pawn, and we will have a bishop. The problem is if he takes knight takes f3 is going to fork the king and the queen, and we might win the game immediately. So I don't think there is anything rather than ge takes f7. Okay, he's attacking our bishop with the queen as well, enabling this move. But I do have this move now. Again attacking the queen and enabling f takes e6. Yes, he will recapture with check, but then I will slide and we don't have to worry about any pawn on f7. Everything looks defended for the time being. Okay, there we go, h5. I do have this move as well. I can play this move, but then bishop takes comes with check, and after I move the king. Okay, again, king and pawn are on a forkable square. Let's take this. King and queen are on a forkable square, so he's not going to capture the bishop anyway. G4, I got bishop f6 and queen will be trapped. Yeah, G4 is not going there as well. Bishop f6 will trap the queen because knight is controlling G3. He gets in with the knight. Let's eliminate this. Rook to C8 now. To do now. Let's take the queen over here. I don't like the presence of the queen on the king side. Light squares are dangerous. Let's threaten that bishop. Oh, G4. Oh, I got this. Let's try to read out the knight this way. Should be winning. Should be winning again if you guys are enjoying the game. But he's playing like so fast. That's the problem. D3. Can I execute with C4, guys? Our time is even on the clock. I might be in trouble on clock. Stay. Activate the rook. Bishop G5 now. Tax this. You can't go there. That means knight takes F3 is gone. Now this is coming. Let's just take this. Oh, why did I go for this? There we go. That's GG. A nice game. Can't believe White is allowing this much tempo. So sometimes it happens. Players just don't know what is going on the board. Okay, let's go back. Let's get the matchup over here. Oh, the game gets finished? Really? No, no, no. What the heck is wrong with me? What the heck is... Oh, Dennis has only 2 minutes 15 seconds on the clock. And Magnus is still fine here. Wow, this is going to be epic now. Only 2 minutes again. This has been the story for all this matchup. Whether it is against like Ali Reza, whether it is against Nihal, whether it is against even Dennis. Magnus is always up on time. How he is managing himself to this level, man. Look at it. Magnus is literally almost 4 minutes 30 seconds. What almost? He has 4 minutes 30 seconds as compared to 2 minutes 30 seconds. Now we are about to watch out for the complete pandemonium on the board. And you might see another hell of the game. Dennis will try his best to win this one. If he draw this one, then it will be very, very, very hard. Next to impossible to get a comeback in last 2 games. In last 2 games to get into the Armageddon. That means this game is the decider game. It might well be the hell of a game at the end. Let's see. Rook d7 is one of the move trying to develop on the d5 and then sometime executing the move e4. Sorry, d4 I should say. But black has this huge outside passer as well. Not outside, but protected passer, which can be very troublesome for white. White has to be very careful. And you can't easily push this pawn because if you are going a4, the b4 pawn might be falling. Knight a4 hangs the knight. Yeah, knight a4 just hangs the knight beautifully and white will win the game. If Magnus wants to make it excited, he can always go for knight a4. And another best move is like d4 immediately, which can allow knight takes d4. Okay, can he go for knight b5? Okay, g4 trying to advance the pawn on the king side. a3 is now going to be a soft target. Maybe black wants to play knight a4 to offer a knight trade here. And Magnus' idea is simple. Just trade everything and get into the equal endgame. Not allowing knight to c6, white improving the king, but 2 minutes again. This is going to be the problem. Will you go for f4 to stop knight to e5? There we go. f4 is on the board, stopping knight to e5. Knight a4, offering a knight trade. Wow, Dennis straight, and now Dennis has this outside passer as well, which is protected. Don't forget that. But again, it is not easy to push this pawn easily. Maybe rook b1 can be played with the idea of dropping this bishop back and then starting this pawn. Again, I'm really very sorry that I'm unable to draw the perfect arrows. F5 is on the board. F6, bishop F6 is one of the moves. Trying to keep the tension, not taking on F5, because if he takes, the knight can join the party, which will attack the pawn on G7, and bishop will be mounted on the diagonal. Again, F takes E6 is well playable move, but you want to play rook F1 first, so that you can meet this move with a check. There we go, B5, A4 now. Solidify the pawn and get the rook behind the pawn and start pushing. Look at that. These two pawns are going to be very, very, very hard to stop for black. Already white is better. White is better. Then it needs some key moves. E4 is slightly inaccurate. I don't know why. E5 attacking the knight and then D4. Wow, black can get disconnected passer in the center of the board. E5 followed by D4. Wow, there we go. Magnus finds this. Knight now B5 pawn is falling as well. That's why A4 was important, just trying to solidify the pawn. You have to move the knight, knight C6. But there we go, E4, D4. And now comes A4. He sacked the rook. Wow, look at that brilliant move. Because look at this pawn in the center of the board. Magnus is going to roll down all of these pawns. For the moment, Dennis is up on the material. But it is going to be very, very hard to stop these three pawns. A5, the only move to keep Dennis in his game. Now he needs rook a1 and try to stop, so try to push this pawn as soon as possible. But a6 is controlled. If you are going for rook a1 even, rook a6 will stop the pawn. And this pawn might fall too soon because knight can reroute itself to c6 to attack the pawn. Wow. I can't reach this level of chess geniusism in this life, man. Okay, then we'll c3 first. Attacking the bishop. Bishop does not have too much meaningful square. Bishop c1 is the only move. Or maybe you want to play bishop a1 to play the move rook a2 to defend the pawn. If you okay, he sacked the bishop back because knight is undefended at the end. Rook takes c3, rook takes c3. Okay, now you are not moving this bishop because your rook is undefended. And you are not in time because the king is on a light square. There are no checks as well. How are you going to survive as white? Okay, trying to get that move. Now you can move the bishop somewhere, but still it is very hard. Now it is completely equal. The pawn might be hanging. There we go. E4 is defended now. Rook king f7, bishop f6. Sorry, wait. Wow, what is going on now? There is again only 30 seconds on the clock. But f file is open. Can he do something on the f file? But it is going to be very hard. He offers a rook trade. Magnus declines. Rook go to d3 with an idea on d4. But again, it is going to be very hard. Rook b2 or rook c2. Bishop goes back, and now black is the one who is better. d3 is coming too soon. Knight d3. Look at that move. Knight f4. He eliminates, but pawn is getting even stronger. It is completely winning for black now. King f1 only move. s3 is hanging. e4 is hanging. Magnus is getting another game. He's sealing the deal. Dennis is on the verge of third loss. Third loss. I think it is going to be the second loss. But again, it's very hard. 14 seconds. Magnus is converting this game beautifully. He has literally 1 minute 30 seconds on the clock. And rook trade is inevitable. You have to accept this mean. Okay, Magnus is not even capturing. He's just advancing with the king. Check bishop blocks. Now f3 is coming. Even king f3, king g3, and king takes s3 is just completely winning. Dennis is about to lose on time and he resigns. There we go. Magnus taking the lead 3-1. That means last two game is going to be hell of a game. And if Magnus secures the draw in the fifth game, we might see the winner of this matchup. And Magnus will defend his title. And now it is almost 98-95% certain that Magnus is going to hold his title. Whereas Dennis is kind of offside, but still you can't underestimate this guy. He has the capability of making a comeback. He has to win on demand in the fifth game and in the sixth game if he wants to get this matchup into Armageddon. Not really, there is one more set. Yeah, I know that there is one more set. That means the last set, the last two games is going to be very, very tough for Dennis. He has to win on demand. Last stream, bro, I just came. What? You were available in yesterday's stream when I came previously still. Again, if you guys are enjoying the game, please do hit that like button. Make sure to get to the 30 likes. And if you're new to the channel, you can subscribe the channel as well. Do check out the channel. You timed me out, bro. Santa, did you time out Jinwoo? I think third setup will take some time to get started. That means we can start some games. We can play off on our own. Right? Yeah. Let's see what is going
We're
on
going
in
to
the
find out pretty
broadcast.
play another 4-game match. The only way Dennis can come back is if he wins the second match. Then they play a third match of 2 games, and he has to win that match as well. Is Dennis up to the challenge, or is Magnus just too Magnus?
It is very tough
And
for
there we're
Dennis now.
seeing Magnus in clinical mode as he blocks those checks. He gets himself into that advantageous endgame, and we're seeing here
Magnus
it
is
was
still
just a case
unbeaten
of
in
those
this
killer
matchup.
pawns. Nothing can stop Magnus as
He is in
we are
last
going
team,
to go
but he wasn't
straight
available.
to the studio.
Wow, that's the beauty of Magnus. He just sacked the rook and then he won the game. Wow, can you believe that? Magnus is just literally sacrificing the rook, getting into the worst endgames. Not worse, maybe it was just equal, but still, you need some guts, man. Let's go for another e4, knight f3, bishop c4. Okay, d5. This is something like elephant gambit. Takes. We need to b3, c3 here. We goes here. And I need to keep defending the pawn, right? Queen c4. I want to play bishop b3 and then castle. That is my idea. And then we might be up like 2 pawn, but still he will not. Okay, he goes for this. I might be fine here. I can play bishop e3. Bishop e3. Let me just check if there is something. Or queen. Bishop e2 is even better. There is nothing. There is no check. And I can simply play queen d3. We are up a piece as well. And then castle. Should be fine now. He's going to move the bishop somewhere in order to attack my queen. But then queen to d3, keeping an eye on the bishop. And I'm fine. Okay, he's attacking my queen and this as well. I can go for this, I guess, because your queen is also going to be hanging. That is another blunder. That is another blunder. You have to play f6, but then I play queen to c4, defend the bishop, and then I just castle. It's completely winning, and he resigns. This is how to punish the elephant gambit. When I stay inside or leave, why you guys are having fight in this chat, man? Okay, let me see the accuracy for this game. Let me see the accuracy for this game. Okay, mine accuracy is 94.8 against 70. We need to d3, c3, bishop before check is that's why bad. Queen c2 is easy. Why did I go for queen c4? Queen c2 is easy, paving the way for bishop d3 followed by castle. I goes for queen c4 and mine is kind of fine, but he just blunders the game. Bishop e2 and now bishop takes d5. If you takes my queen, then it's simple. I takes your queen and I'm still winning. And now if you takes this, then again knight is e5 and now my queen is even defended. So you are like too much to. But first thing first, if you take the bishop, you are getting checkmated over here. मस्ती क्या तो उड़ा दूंगा and it's 7 days backstream. You told that I said KGB insulted Dilkit. You know, guys, you all are like out of chess. You don't seem to be interested in chess. Every single time you are having some sort of fight in the chat. Like literally every second time. Are you from Pune? No, because I'm not from Pune. I am from Bihar. I don't even know what is going on. So stop having fight. Set 3 has not been started yet. Oh no, it was set 1. And you got 4 game in set 1. That means there is going to be set 2. So how many total games are they going to play? 8 or 12? Oh, I have not seen the like format, so it is kind of hard for me. It was set 1 and now that is going to be set 2. Will there be any set 3? How many years are you playing? I'm playing from almost 3 and 4 years. Bro, time me out and no justice for me. What? Okay, let me actually find out how many sets are going to be there.
We were there.
Versus Magnus would just be the most insane in-game grinds ever.
I mean, I've done, Stockfish versus Stockfish, ChatGPT versus ChatGPT in chess, Martin versus Martin. Recently, there was Zachbot. Magnus versus Magnus simulated with
Magnus.
I think Magnus. I think the fans win. No, I mean, look, what we are seeing here is not just this old man chess. Imagine a starting chess position had like 4 or 5 less pieces at the beginning. How would that change things? There would be a lot less checkmates. There'd be a lot more long-term grinds of complexes and weak squares and things like that.
Right.
That's the way that he's defeating Denis Lazovic.
All right. Well, it's still another match ahead of us, and there's a lot about to go down. However, for all of you out there, we've got something special for you.
3 sets, total 12 games. Okay, that means Dennis had some time, but still it is going to be very tough for him. It is going to be very, very tough. Play 6 more years, you will be 2800. I will be 2800 in next 3 years. A4, D3. That sounds. Is Gautam just say he sacked the rook? No. That's Castle. Bro, your rating. What is Bishop D6 here, right? Okay, he's developing his pieces in kind of awkward sense, but it is completely playable. Knight E5. What is the idea? What? Bro? Can't I just take this? What? I don't know what he's trying to do. E4 might be in trouble. I need to speed up. Sometimes I got like better in these kind of games, and then I kind of messed up. What is going on? Let's take this. If he takes here, I do have in between move. We are attacking the queen, and now we need to move the knight somewhere. Probably knight here. I don't know. Knight G5 looks good. Threatening knight F7. What to do now? Queen G4 walks into knight D5. Check is coming. Oh, wait. Let's do this. I don't think there's anything. We can sack the bishop. If he takes, there is going to be a discovered check. If you're not taking, I'm going to take this. We are already ahead in material, so we can afford sacrificing some pieces back. Okay, F2 might be hanging, but that is not going to be a check. Let's go. Check. Check. You lost the queen and you resigns. There we go. I'm coming. When he plays rook f8, then knight e6 was brilliant. When he played rook f8, then knight e6 was brilliant. Check it. When he played rook f8, knight e6 was brilliant. Manipulate this. Knight takes e6. Yeah, it is the second best move. Because if he takes, then this check wins the game. I goes for knight e2. It is completely winning as well. We find this. Now we sack the bishop. We sack the bishop one more time. Check, and it is completely winning. Will you play FIDE tournament in later years? Yeah, I will of course play some FIDE tournament. Let's see for the matchup if it has been started or not. Still, set 2 has not been started. So if anybody of you wants to play, you guys can send the challenge, but make sure it should be like unrated game. It should be like unrated game. I'm coming. We are back. We are back. So can you review my second game? Sahil, I will try to review your game at the end of the stream. Let's try to have some match against the viewers. Diamond Show, it's sending me the channel. Let's play against this. हंस क्यों रहे हो दिल भाई? Okay, I'm gonna start with 1e4. I just feel that I should laugh on your comments. Okay, still set 2 has not been started. Oh, actually, first game. Okay, Magnus won the first game, and then second, third game ended in a draw, and then in fourth game again Magnus won. Okay, we are going to wait. I don't think this guy is in the game, so you guys can send me the challenge. But before that, I'm going to be playing another bridge game. I don't think he is in the game. That's about this. And you guys can prepare your challenge. I'm gonna play 3+0. Okay, we are playing with the black pieces. So let's go for the Karo Khan this time. This is the exchange Karo. Knight goes f6, bishop g4. He didn't take. Bishop g4 makes sense here now. I can go here. Do you want to play bishop sorry, z4 actually here? No. Okay, that's great for me. Let's play bishop e7, and now we are ready to castle. Rook c6, rook c8 can be played as well. Let's castle first. King safety is must. Go back where you came from. What is this move? I do want to eliminate the knight. Do you want to capture with the pawn? No. That means I want to eliminate your bishop. And now knight is going to be on c4. If he captures, maybe I can recapture with the pawn, or maybe this pawn. Let's go. I will take with this pawn to open up the d file, and then sometime I will try to use this one. He takes the sting out of knight e3, which was my idea initially. Let's go bishop d6, pin this pawn now. Now there is no knight e3. The pawn is also defended. He wants to play knight to e5. That's the point. Which makes sense, you know. What about b4? We need to open up the c file as there is a queen. Let's take here. I think he wants to eliminate this. Okay, he didn't go for that. Bishop to e4. Knight on e5 is very annoying, and if he captures this, I will be fine. Let's recapture over here. Bishop can go to d5, but again, the knight is way too strong. I need to eliminate this knight at some moment, but my pawn on c4 is just he's using my pawn as an umbrella to guard c3. f5 is going to be there sometimes, but I need to be very careful. I can go for queen to a5. Yeah, let's go for some of the offense over here. My bishop looks good on the diagonal. Can I get the b file? If I can add my rook to the b8. If I'm going here, I'm walking into this. No, I'm not walking because the rook is undefended there. Still, it's not looking great. Let's make a room for the king, I guess. I need to access this file, but the rook, white rook is the one who is controlling the entire b file. Hard to make some damage, guys. Bishop f2, I don't know what is the idea. Let's go here in case if queen moves, I can get that access. Oh, I just need to get to the back rank somehow. But that is the question. How can I do that? Let's go here, attack the rook. Do you want to play these moves? Okay. He's still taking the control of the file. I need to get my rook on this file. Okay, finally, do you want to play that move? This is not a move. Okay, he goes for this. Well, it doesn't seem to be giving us the attack the rook. Oh, my time, my clock. Ah, knight takes c4 is there. Attacking and defending. He might find this now. He find that. Fuck, man. I lost the bishop as well. What the heck is wrong with me suddenly? I'm so stupid. Only thing which I have is the diagonal. Oh, that's defended as well. Can I go for this? Queen f2 is there. Knight is also defending this. Can you move the knight, please? Oh, but the knight is defending this. Fuck, man. Completely winning for black white now. Yeah, he survives. No, 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 no. Time. I need to get my bishop back. Can I confuse you now? Still very hard. Oh, man. No, he's making this happening. Bad luck. I completely missed that. I have free idea. Sometimes blunders happen the moment you release some pieces, and this is very annoying. I don't know why your brain just doesn't work before making some move. I was knowing that 95 is no big deal here. Oh, shit. I don't want to undevelop this. I need b6, but what about the diagonal here? I need to go for this. I'm already getting outplayed in this game, I guess. Yeah, there we go. Problem is already there. Bishop takes z5, e6. But now he's in time to throw this check. Magnus match. Okay, I will try to get that. I will try to get that. But let's try to have some games over here. Okay, castles. Which castle? Knight takes is coming. Can I recapture with the bishop? Hmm. No, it's not a blunder. I don't know, for some reason I thought it is going to be a blunder. There is nothing to capture now. A6. But what about the light square bishop? This is going to be the problem piece. This is going to be the problem piece. Can you move this knight to allow bishop to a4, which will fork your queen in the rook? Hello, Dr. Doom. Welcome to the stream, bro. Let's go a6. But now my queen is tied down. I need to be very, very careful. Now I take this. I don't want to allow this coming with check. Oh, it takes. Let's recapture with the pawn. Luckily, the bishop is in front. I think he wants to read out this. Oh, he wants to set this up. Wow. To set this up. I'm cooked. If I'm going here, knight. No. I might survive here because my bishop can go back and then I will have this. King f6 at least. Oh man, this is going to be very hard. Very tough game now. b4 and bishop b5. He's also up in block. Oh, he stops that. Let's go for b4. I need to execute this move to have some counterplay on the queen side. That is the only way. Otherwise, I will lose the game. Can I find some counterplay, guys? b4. Lazarus blunders. There are so many games left. That's why I'm just trying to play some games over here. I don't know what is the idea. But let's go for this. b2 is hanging. He goes there. Let's attack this. How did I miss this? Fuck, man. How stupid I am. I'm a simple tactic. I'm burning all of my time now. Let's recapture. He's not going to take this. I'm knowing that. Can I pick queen takes? I guess I can. I can also go for queen takes f1, and anyway it takes, then I can take this rook. Yeah, that looks interesting. But time is my problem. He is up on clock, which is a problem for me. Okay, good thing is he's still thinking. Now I can take this. Thank you. Okay, let's go where here probably. I might survive. Everything looks different. King h8. And now the bishop is hanging. There is this check followed by rook f8. Queen takes e3. Everything is nasty now. You can't hold on to everything. Nice one. Let's go. It was very tough for me, man. Somehow, but I found he just blunders a rook there, but still it was like drawable. My king was exposed, but we find some key points. Okay, let's see what is happening over here in the Magnus versus Dennis game. And if you guys enjoyed the last game, please do consider hitting that like button. Make sure to subscribe as well. Okay, again Magnus is up on clock. Why the heck Magnus is getting up on clock like every single time? Rook takes c1 is a brilliancy. Wow, he gave up the exchange. Wow, look at that. He gave up the exchange. Look at the understanding of the game. And now there is knight e3, another fork. So he's getting the piece back with interest. He's up a pawn. Magnus is up a pawn with the black pieces. There is some tension on the king side, but let's see who is going to hold on to his nerves. Black knights look great, controlling some of the key square. If you move this knight, knight e2 check can be very good. Maybe some ideas did to c3, controlling a4. e5 is one of the move here by black. Okay, Magnus is thinking with a pause, 3 minutes 30 seconds. Will he take on f5 or will he advance with the move e5? There you go. He goes for e5. So it fire the knight, and he has this b6 pawn as well, which looks it is a target. So does a3 pawn is as well. If white goes for rook b7, immediately rook a8 targets the a3 pawn. White knight has to be rerouted, but how are you going to get the knight into the game? Knight a2 is not any. Maybe you have to play knight to f1, e3, and then to d5. That is the move. a4 is one of the moves, just trying to control b5 square, not allowing black to push this pawn. But he is going for knight f1, knight e3, and knight to d5 ideas, getting the knight into the center of the board. But look at the rook. Your king might be in trouble. That is apparently a bad move because of rook a6, which targets the pawn here. Rook d7 is also a better move, trying to keep an eye on this pawn. Okay, he goes for rook a6, which is a mistake. Knight c3, the only move. Knight e2 check is very dangerous. Or maybe knight b1, taking the pawn like this. Knight d5, now only move. You have to offer a knight trade on the d5 square and hope for survival. Black is already better. It is completely winning for Magnus now. It is completely winning for Magnus. Knight d5, white has to go for knight d5. Any other move makes the position even worse. King f2 is second, king f1 is second best move. White again in trouble. Dennis has only 1 minute 45 seconds on the clock, guys. Where Magnus has almost 3 minute 20 seconds. That means he is going to have upper edge. Well, this has been the story. Like every single game, Magnus is just grinding the game without even thinking. He is just putting a psychological pressure on the clock, and everybody is falling victim to him. Victim to him. Victim to him. King f2, another inaccurate move. And again, it is completed with plus 3. Knight takes e4. And now Magnus is up 2 pawns. King goes to f3. He regains one of the pawn, but look at these 2 pawns in the center of the board. It is just going to roll down you. f6 doesn't threaten anything rather than creating some weaknesses on the king side, but now d4 is just asking to be played. He can even go for like g takes f6. There is no danger to the black king. d4, d3, d2 is coming. You are not stopping these pawns, and you might see the resignation by Lazovic. Magnus is winning no 6L. Yeah, it has been this story. He's always like up on the clock. White is playing with 89.6% accuracy, where Magnus is playing with 94.1. And again, d4 just steals the game on the spot. You are simply not stopping this pawn, as the promotion square is protected by the knight as well. d4 attacks the knight. He goes for e4 first check, king f1. Okay, king z4 attacking the pawn. Trying to set up some check, but you are not going for that. King z5 is there, but e3 is completely winning. e3, e2, and e1 queen. You are not stopping this pawn. It looks like king g5, but there is simply no threat because of this pawn on f6. There are simply no checks. Magnus finds e3. Next e2 is coming. White has to sack the knight if he wants to stop this pawn somehow. But again, e2, e1 is coming. This is completely winning. Magnus getting another win. It is completely resignable now. Both the pawns are just getting down to the board. Dennis taking a pause. Only 55 seconds on the clock. You might see the resignation over here. And it is getting even worse for Dennis. It is going to be like 4-1. He takes on d4. He pins the knight. Knight gone. Rook takes d4 is there. Rook takes d4 is there. And now Magnus is simply up a piece. He has a piece for the pawn, which is like very hard to control. And with 44 seconds, it is even impossible. Simple move is even rook a4 here, attacking the pawn. He goes for rook d5, trying to defend the pawn, cutting off the king. z4, Dennis hoping for some sort of miracle, trying to get some. Okay, he's offering a rook trade now. Rook takes a3, rook takes z5 check. King h7 or king f8 is fine. Magnus taking a pause, just thinking if his king is completely safe or not. I do think the king is going to be completely safe, even if you lose g5. there is not going to be any checks. Or maybe Magnus is trying to find a way if I can go for rook exchange. He did go for. Now Magnus just have to stop this pawn. In the meanwhile, he will collect these pawns and push this pawn. But now it can be very tricky, but still Magnus is the ultimate goat and he is not going to let this game slip away. And there we go. Dennis resigned with 30 seconds on the clock and Magnus with another win in set 2. Wow, that's crazy. Let's look at some of the key points. Let's see the games with the opening. Magnus, okay, Dennis opts with d4, knight f6, c4. And this time we have another Ninja India is on the board. a3, takes, and now comes c5. f3, trying to prepare e4 in the center of the board. Magnus goes for knight c6. There we go. e4, d6, knight e2, b6, knight g3, knight a5. Typical idea in the Ninja Indian defense. Putting pressure on c4, you might see that bishop coming to a6 as well, attacking this pawn. Gotham is definitely gonna make another video of this rook takes c1 of sacrifice. Yeah, bishop a6. There you go. Magnus. Magnus goes for bishop a6 and then it's just castle. That means he is giving up the pawn on c4. Magnus takes on d4 first, and now only he starts with rook c8, putting even more pressure over here. f4, f5. Finally, he takes. White is better here, but the move was. Oh, my bad. Rook h4. White is better after knight to d5, and the move is simple. Rook h3. I don't even know what is the idea of rook h3. The idea is simple. If you take here, okay, if you take here, your rook is hanging. Oh, my bad. After knight to d5, Magnus opens up a line of attack on the rook. Rook is indifferent. That's why you have to move the rook to h3. But he goes for rook c4, which is ineffective due to rook takes c1. What is difference after this move? Because of queen takes c1. So like what happens over here? If he goes here, what if I just take the queen here? Aha, now you see the problem. There is the knight f6 which attacks the rook. And if you are going here, then now there is knight b3. Wow, another 4. Well, that's why you have to play rook h3. Well, anyway, you take this rook here, you are going to have a 4. That's why you play rook h3, and after rook takes c1. If he goes for this, then you simply play queen to b2. And if he takes this, you take that knight. And this knight is trapped in the corner of the board. Wow, that's beautiful. Wow, man. Rook g4, you are going to have a fork anyway. Like this, rook g4, rook takes c1. And how will you take? If you take with the rook, which happens, then knight e3 is a fork. That's simple. And if you take with the queen, then only knight f6 first, because you have to get that knight out of the attack. Rook is hanging, and again, if you go for rook h4, only now knight b3, fork these queen and the rooks in this card. Wow, Magnus finding that with like 5 seconds. That's like incredible, man. Okay, there we go. Rook takes c1, queen, rook takes, another 4. Gets the piece back, exchange back. Magnus had some interest over that, and now we just seen this one. Let's go back. Let's see the second game of this setup. Why don't they play simple bishop opening? Because they are super GMs. They can play whatever they want. And by the way, you guys are not hitting that like button. There are only 27 likes. What is stopping you from hitting that like button? Okay, this time Magnus with the white pieces opens the game with d4, knight f6, c4, g6. Dennis out for the king's Indian defense. Wow, knight c3, bishop g7, e4, d6, knight f3, castles, bishop e2. There we go, e5, typical response in the king's Indian defense. Magnus takes on e5, and now comes d takes e5 back. If you are capturing this, I'm pretty sure that is going to be queen takes d1, and how will you capture? Best is like king takes or bishop takes even, but now that is going to be, I think, knight takes e4. He takes the pawn. If you takes the knight, you are losing the bishop here. Sorry, knight here, and the bishop is a monster on this diagonal. And black is fine here. Black is even better. Okay, queens got traded off. Anyway, let's see what happens over here. Okay, Magnus accept the queen trade. Now comes bishop g5. Rook goes back. This is, I think, some variation which I'm forgetting the name. Okay, let me check. Okay, just leave that. Okay, we are in this position b5. There we go. a4, trying to go for a5. Sorry, a5. a4 is coming now. That's why Magnus goes a4 himself. Stop the progress of the pawn on the flank. And now we are in this end game where both player has two rooks. And Magnus is about to trade this bishop as well because e4 is hanging. Magnus is taking a pause. Let's see what he's going to play. There are more games here. Magnus have human brain, Stockfish in Magnus brain. Okay, you might see another trade on c3, but that will only help black to bring the knight out. And then black pieces looks good. White is about to castle, or maybe Magnus can just go king e2 after trading of this bishop. Because without the king, it is not going to be very hard. And Magnus can keep the king in the center of the board as well. This bishop looks like it is just biting on granite. It is just staring on its own pawn. Magnus goes for bishop b2, maybe trying to shift the bishop to c3 in order to attack the pawn on e5 with the knight. But what about bishop takes e4? You might see that there is a rook which can be hanging. So the pawn on e4 is not actually hanging. Dennis can trade on a4, rook takes a4, and then he can try to play knight to c6. Let's see. Okay, we will get back to this game, but let's try to play some other games as well. Okay, who is going to send me the challenge? I'm waiting for your challenges, guys. Should I play another game or do you want to play? Which are you using? What? Imagine Magnus go in tool mode and play band gambling. Remember the name ID, Attacker One Gaming. Yeah, I do remember that. You are back with another ID? You are back with another ID, Attacker One Gaming. I think it was something Sachin, if I'm not wrong. Not bro, accept. Yeah, I have accepted your challenge. Challenge failed, currently playing. You are currently playing. Then why did you send me the challenge? Not. Oh, you have played d4. Let's bring the knight out. He is going for the Grandmaster opening. d5. He's opting for the bishop f4 line. Jababa London is on the board. Let's go bishop to g5. Wow. Oh, I have played this exact setup in which I got completely bad position. But this time I'm capturing. He castled queen set. What is he trying? Do I want to take? Of course not. Let's go e6. e5, I got knight s4, s5, important. Attacking the bishop. Bishop g5, bishop e7. Okay, he goes back. Let's take. Now this. Queen c7. This is in trouble. Where should I castle? If I'm castling here, knight just falls. f6 might be fine. And I'm going to castle queenside as well. Then I think I will be fine. Why do they always play Dubawal? I don't know. सेम आईडी अभी कोहली को ट्रोल करता हूँ इसीलिए नेम किंग कोहली रख